Hey, I'm going to do a little video about why I don't make mental health videos anymore. So, as some of you know, my channel used to be really small with about 300 subscribers tops. I used to make a lot of videos then about agoraphobia that I was dealing with then, where I didn't leave the house, and then I started trying to leave the house and film myself taking walks and driving a little bit. Then I also made some videos about bipolar, some about general health, some about supplements. Then my channel in May of 2022, last May, suddenly jumped to 2.56 thousand subscribers, which is most of you guys watching, when I did that interview on soft white underbelly. I've been thinking for a while that I've let my subscribers down. People who were looking for my videos about the agoraphobia, and those videos are gone. They're never coming back. And I felt I owed you a little bit of an explanation about that. So, trying to think where to begin. I can't decide what order to say all these things I have to say, but a lot of people have asked to hear me tell my psychosis and hospital story myself without my husband. And the video on my channel, actually two videos called Postpartum Psychosis, or my involuntary hospitalization for postpartum psychosis. Those two videos I made several years before me and my husband went on soft white underbelly. And in those videos, you can find me telling my story pretty soon after it happened, much sooner than by the time I got to soft white underbelly, without my husband's input. I do think that's important to have that, for women especially, who want someone to relate to them and what they're going through, because as supportive as a husband can be, there's no way they can possibly fully understand what's happening. And as grateful as I am for my husband's help, it's still kind of a woman's only thing that a woman who's going through something similar or knows someone who's gone through something similar can watch that video of me. Which reminds me of some other thing that I've thought about, but I don't know if I have time to explain. I wonder if there's some way that I can how do I say this? Like, YouTube is way too public, so sometimes if I want to help another woman with something, I don't know how I can do that on YouTube, because I don't want comments on the public for people to read and people to leave nasty, rude things. There needs to be a safe, woman's only, place that women can go to talk about and deal with the issues they experience postpartum. I don't know what that is right now, but I know that YouTube is not that. So, trying to collect my thoughts here, but about kind of my mental health journey, like where I'm at now. I still take some supplements. I don't take a lot of the other ones I used to take. So, for example, I don't take skull cap or valerian or any of the tonic herbs anymore. I don't take kava. I don't take a B-complex vitamin every day anymore. I definitely have gone many weeks without taking any supplements at all. Excuse me a moment. I've definitely gone, several weeks without taking all of my supplements, but just the lithium. So I had to pause the video there. Please don't misunderstand. I still take the lithium pretty much almost every day. So don't take it as out of context. She doesn't take any supplements anymore, or has gone weeks without it. There have been a few times I've stopped taking lithium for maybe up to a few days at a time, but I don't really go longer than a few days without having that lithium orotate in my blood, in my system. And because if I were to go off it and stop taking it, the episodes would come right back. The mania, psychosis, sleeplessness, and the really negative symptoms of bipolar would just come right back. On the lithium orotate, my bipolar is just basically a non-issue, like basically healed. But without it, it would come right back immediately. Oh, and also I want to point out that without my hydroxyzine, which is a prescription antihistamine, my bipolar would not easily be managed. So that's also very necessary. I don't take that every day. I take it as needed. But I don't ever let that prescription lapse, because for me, letting that lapse would not be a good thing at all. So I do want to explain a little bit about my evolving thoughts about this. I used to be very, very, very anti-medical or anti-pharmaceutical, and I still am to a large degree. But for myself, because I only take hydroxyzine, which is considered light, but for me, it works pretty well. I've come around to think that a lot of supplements and a lot of vitamins and even naturopaths are quacks. A lot of that is bullshit. And then what led me to believe that was my own experience. So let's say after I got psychotic, I went in the hospital, I went cold turkey off the Seroquel, off the antipsychotics. I tried so many different natural cures that just didn't fucking work. That eventually I just really learned that some of it is bullshit. And I kind of regret some of the things I told, people on YouTube on comments. I kind of regret trying to, quote, fix people with herbs, because you often you just can't do that. Like, if your problems are so minor that you can fix them with herbs, maybe that's not mental illness. Maybe that's just you had a bad day, or you were stressed or something, or I don't know. So I don't see naturopaths anymore. I don't get my hormones tested anymore. I do still take progesterone, because years ago I did get my hormones tested, and they said I was low in progesterone. In fact, they said I was so low that I wondered how I got pregnant so easily, because I thought if you were really low in progesterone, you wouldn't easily get pregnant, or maybe you would get pregnant and then lose the baby. So maybe my progesterone was just rising normally whenever I got pregnant. I do still take the progesterone, though. That's on the skin transdermally. That's not ingested. It says it's from wild yam, and it says it's 1.3 grams, 20 milligrams of bioidentical USP progesterone. There's a warning on it that says California Proposition 65 warning. This product contains progesterone, a chemical known to the state of California to cause cancer. Consult with your physician before using this product. And yeah, I take it anyway. I don't have cancer that I know of, but I don't go to doctors, so I don't really check that stuff up. Basically, I avoid the medical system whenever possible, which is understandable because, I fucking hate hospitals and I hated being locked up. So my mental health has been good overall. Just normal, like I guess anyone else. Sometimes better than others. So let me explain another thing. I think that if I could have gone back in time, I wouldn't have spent so much time obsessing and reading about, whether it was online or in books. I bought several books about bipolar, mania, psychosis. I don't think I would have spent as much time obsessing about it. And the reason why I say that is because humans have a tendency to become what they're around. Okay, so like think of it in a group of people. Whoever you're around the most, you're going to act like them. You're going to behave like them. And people are going to see symptoms of mental illness everywhere if they're constantly researching mental illness. So I stopped looking at websites about mental health. I stopped researching bipolar this and bipolar that and this supplement and that supplement, and I tried to stop just dwelling in that space of everything's a symptom and everything's a disease. Over-pathologizing myself was a mistake. I don't regret the knowledge I got. I don't regret reading things and learning things that now I do think I have more knowledge. But I do regret over-identifying with certain descriptions of mental illness and using that as an excuse in my life to not improve. But of course this is all 2020 hindsight. There's no way I could have seen any of that. And then as far as the agoraphobia, that issue was real. It certainly, definitely was not faked. I do think that it was very hard to get over that. Very, very hard. And part of the problem, unfortunately, was that certain people who should have been very encouraging and very helpful were very judgmental to me during that time. And part of that made me not recover a lot, because the people that should have been the closest to me and the most supportive were the worst, the most bullying, the most hurtful words. And unfortunately, I can't really forget that at all. I did, of course, eventually overcome the agoraphobia, no thanks to a lot of people. And it was difficult. It wasn't easy. But okay, let me explain something here. I don't have videos up anymore about that, and I'm not going to talk about it anymore, because it was unhealthy. It was starting to get unhealthy for me to see myself sick, unwell like that. Just to even have those videos online or anywhere. To see myself not leaving the house, or as soon as I would go to leave the house, feel a panic attack or get a panic attack. Or it was just getting unhealthy for me to see myself like that. So for the benefit of my kids and my family and my husband, I deleted all those videos, and they're not ever coming back. I also, fortunately, am starting to forget. I'm starting to forget what it was like to not be able to leave the house, and I'm starting to forget what the worst of those panic attacks were like. So I also want to touch on something here. The information and the books I used to help learn how to recover from that are still out there, and people can still find them, hopefully, if they need them. But I'm no longer going to be able to educate people individually on that. I guess I want to say, so why do I still take lithium? I think that lithium really seems to help my overall physical and mental health. And when I don't take it, I definitely notice some things that aren't great about my physical and mental health. I will probably take lithium orotate every day for the rest of my life. There's very little to no likelihood I would ever go off it, just because of how hugely beneficial it was and is to me. So do I identify myself as still bipolar? No. Does my husband identify me as such? Yes, I think so. Since I can't control what he thinks about me, it is what it is. But it's not good for me to keep thinking of myself like that. So, I try to enjoy the good character traits about myself and respect myself for the strong, wise, and interesting human being that I am. But slapping labels on people doesn't help much. It really doesn't. And bipolar is the easiest label to slap on someone when anyone goes into a psych ward or a mental health facility. It's just easy to look at someone and say, oh, they're crazy, bipolar. Do I still exhibit symptoms or signs of bipolar? Maybe sometimes someone might think that, but I don't think, as long as I'm taking lithium, I don't think it's to any degree that matters. If I were to go off my lithium, if I were to not sleep, or if I were to have a very, very stressful life, I probably would show a lot of symptoms of bipolar. Maybe then I would be bipolar. But for all practical purposes now, no, I'm just a person. I really think that most of what is out there on mental health online is complete phony, baloney bullshit. One of my biggest pet peeve irritations is people overusing and over-labeling everyone with narcissist. If someone cuts you off in traffic, they're a narcissist. If someone disagrees with you about a political opinion, they're a narcissist. Donald Trump is a narcissist. Everyone is a narcissist. I think that's an inappropriate and wrong label. I think that people get really, really lazy with their thinking, and they just find this word and it just becomes popular, and they say it. But like in the Princess Bride movie, Inigo Montoya says, "You say that word, but you do not know what it means." I think that's what people do a lot. I think that a true narcissist probably does exist, but I've never met one. And it sounds like a pretty bad person and a pretty bad thing to be around. Someone with devoid of empathy, who uses others to their own personal gain, and yeah, I've never met anyone like that. So here's a question that I'm asking myself. Did I go on Softlight Underbelly for my own personal gain and profit? Definitely not. I don't make any money on YouTube at all, and I get no royalties from my interview video on Softlight Underbelly. I did that to educate the public on postpartum psychosis. I also did it to help people feel not alone who were going through things like that. So it was definitely not for fame or my time in the spotlight. So anyway, I'm going to end the video with a few thoughts about Lauren living well with schizophrenia. It looks like she's doing a keto diet to try to stop her schizoaffective disorder symptoms. Schizoaffective disorder being schizophrenia, where you hear voices and see hallucinations, but schizoaffective refers to it being bipolar type, which means you'll get mania and depression, and maybe during the mania you get more symptoms of hallucinations. Anyway, I don't know how it's going to work out for Lauren. I hope that it works out well for her. I've been watching her videos for several years, on and off, not every video, but I find it a little interesting sometimes. She's very Canadian, and she never ever seems to get around to the point of what she's trying to say. She like dances around the point and just kind of sounds like she's just so proper. I'm kind of the opposite. I'm super to the point, and I'm going to tell you the facts are the facts. Just the raw facts. So, but I do think what's interesting about her videos is like she'll get, like recently she's been saying she's been paranoid and she didn't want to leave the house to go run. And I thought that was pretty interesting and kind of sad, because it must suck to not be able to leave the house and go running. I hope the keto diet works out for her. For me, I tried keto a little bit and it did absolutely nothing, maybe worse, way worse. I will never ever try keto again. I've had several YouTube people comment and ask me if I've ever done keto for weight loss or mental health. And no, I've tried it and no, it's bad. Makes me not sleep, makes me batshit crazy. She looks so thin, and I wonder if she starts to lose a lot of weight, if that would be unhealthy for her, because, you know, we do store some toxins in our fat, and she doesn't have a lot of fat to go around from the looks of her. So I really hope that that is done in a safe and healthy way, and it looks like it is, because, you know, from the video, it looks like she has a doctor on her computer who's helping her and guiding her what to do with that keto. So that'll be interesting to see how it turns out for her. I wish her the best. And one more quick note before I go. One of the reasons I stopped making videos a lot too was I have been getting quite a bit of bullying in real life about my weight, which was a little bit of a bummer. I have gained a bit of weight over the years. I've had 2 babies, and I am female, and female hormones, they do tend to hold on to a lot of fat. It's not always easy to lose weight, especially quickly. And it really can hurt a lot to hear negative comments about my weight. I wish that people would see the good qualities in me as a person and try to look past the weight a little bit. And it wasn't always good for me to hear that I was too fat and that I should try to lose weight, or that I should listen to someone's diet protocol that would help me lose weight. So, that's all I've got. Later, peoples.